Hey everyone, what's up? It's Dr. Charlie. Wanted to create a short video here, hopefully, after I just got off a call with a gentleman who is following or was following the McKenzie method for so long, doing tons of cobras, probably thousands of cobras, and at some point, right, it kind of felt good in the beginning, but now it's actually the thing that's keeping him from healing. He was told that he should avoid going forward because if he bends forward, it pushes the jelly sort of out the donut. He's been locked in by that theory, such he's been holding himself very rigid. And now he says his whole spine is really sensitive and he's kind of got some soreness in the back. And now he's kind of feels like he's stuck in this position because he's been going this way for so long, right? That, it's painful, it's sore, right? So if you're doing the McKenzie method, and look, nothing wrong with the McKenzie method at all. In fact, I've used it extensively, and I value the systematic approach. But that being said, if you're doing it and it's not working, when I say it gets sort of put out there in the world as just press ups, which it's not, but that's the most common motion a lot of people respond to, say with this gentleman's case of a disc problem. But let's just say you're doing it and you feel like it's becoming yucky and it's actually causing more symptoms and it's just not going like you want it to go, but that's what you're being told to do anyway, because of sort of that theory I just mentioned, the jelly donut theory. Then watch this video. So I'm going to share sort of my thoughts about that, what you can do to sort of get yourself out of trouble, and maybe another way you could be looking at this and what you should be doing instead. So go ahead, check it out. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Dr. Charlie Johnson, a physical therapist. In this video, I want to talk about the stiffness in the spine that develops after going on a protocol of, say, McKenzie prone press up. So if you've gone through you're going through the McKenzie protocol, which, by the way, the McKenzie method, I think it's a great method at the end of the day. It's very systematic, but it typically gets sort of put out there as just a bunch of press ups or extensions. And this is sort of the reason for creating this video is I just got off the phone with a gentleman who said, hey, I was doing like thousands of press ups, man. I was doing press ups all day. And now it feels like my spine's like a little achy when I do it. And it's actually kind of, feels like it's causing more harm. I use that term lightly, but it's more yucky than it is yummy. So it's causing more of a not so good feeling anymore. And it just feels like my whole spine is like bruised. But again, I've avoided going forward, and Charlie, I need your help because I can't bend forward anymore. I'm really tight to my hamstrings and my back because I was worried that I was pushing the jelly out of the donut, right? So that's the theory that sort of old school McKenzie was kind of based on. It's not sort of fully in the cards anymore. It's not fully supported, but it's often used as an easy way. Heck, I've used it in the past as an easy way to describe to patients kind of what we're trying to do when we're trying to, you bend forward, you have a disc problem, let's just say the jelly sits more towards the back and we want to try to extend and push the jelly back home, right? It's like go home ball, right? In I don't know, what was that, Big Daddy or something like that. Anyway, so that's kind of the concept that we've used in the past. It's really an old school kind of concept. Now it's easy for you to understand, but just realize it doesn't actually per se happen like that. In fact, we know that sometimes bending backwards too much can actually cause more pain with some disc herniations. And in fact, you maybe need to go forwards, which is exactly what you were probably told not to do because of the theory I just mentioned. So look, if you're watching this video and you've been doing a bunch of press ups and it's getting yucky and it's feeling yucky and it's not solving your problem, don't be locked in by that theory that, oh, this is good and I was told I should do this and I should sit up tall and hold my spine like that. And I should be really aware of my posture and I should wear that or use that lumbar roll when I sleep and when I sit and whatever. Don't be so trapped by that because it truthfully is a mental trap because that's what you believe you should be doing. How that manifests is that you're walking around and sitting like a robot, right? Like very up tall, and you're trying to do anything you can to stop nicking the scab. A lot of times, another analogy, a lot of McKenzie-based therapists will use is, hey, imagine you have a paper cut, you bend it, right? Every time you do that, you kind of nick the scab or break it back open, right? So if that's what's been put into your head, then you're going to avoid things like going forward, okay? And what happens, the result of doing a lot of press-ups going backwards, think of it like this. Imagine I took my finger and I bent it back thousands and thousands of times. Well, yeah, I mean, after a while, it would allow the paper cut back here to heal because I'm not bending it, right? But after some point, after this thing is starting to heal on its own, imagine like you never trained it to bend again. It would be like, it would be like super stiff and painful in the joint. So if you're following the McKenzie method, again, nothing wrong with the method itself. In fact, I like it because it's systematic, but just don't be locked in by that framework. And I'll explain to you what I mean a little bit more in a moment, and some things that you can do to kind of counteract the stiffness that might be occurring because you're going back so much. But the idea is that sort of the final phase of the McKenzie method is that we want to start to return or regain function. And what we mean by that is whenever we notice that somebody is doing well like this and they're able to start to tolerate bending forward, we want them to actually start doing this. Unfortunately, most people have that kind of mental trap or block because they're like, well, should I do that? Isn't the disc going to go out the back? No, it's not going to go anywhere. It, if it, a lot of people say like, oh, my back went out. My first response is like, well, where'd it go? Right? It didn't go anywhere. Where did it go to dinner? Did it go out here? Did it travel there? Right? It didn't go anywhere. Okay. The simple point being is that don't be trapped in by that mental block. Instead, what I want you to do is if you're having that stiffness, just relax. Like give yourself permission to just slouch. And you might feel a little bit of stretch, a little bit of stiffness. Obviously, if that becomes yucky and you can't do it, okay. But again, if you're watching this video, you probably have trouble sitting up really tall, or not having trouble. You're just noting that it's starting to become a little bit yucky, a little bit uncomfortable. And yeah, I mean, if I held my finger like this all day and I engaged my back muscles all day, and then I did thousands of these, right? And I laid on a board and I put a belt around me and I was having somebody overpressure on my back, or I was standing at the countertop and bending backwards, eventually you're going to get like those joints are going to be jamming so much in the back that it can make things actually worse. So if you're trying the McKenzie method and you're not getting better and you're doing all these press ups, then consider that you need to go the opposite direction. So if extensions, bending backwards, are becoming yucky, then what's the opposite of yucky? Yummy. So try gradually going forward. All right. Now, here's another tip. Okay. And I'll show exactly what I mean by this in a moment. A lot of times you've had a disc problem, right? And you haven't restored your ability to bend forward. The nervous system will still be a little bit sensitive, meaning when you go to straighten the leg, it'll be like, it'll start to shake in the leg, and you know, you'll have some stiffness, and you go to bend and you'll feel like the back of your legs are really, really tight. So take the nervous system out of the equation for the minute. What I mean is start to bend forward with the nervous system on slack. So let me draw this up real quick. So if you try to bend forward, all right, like this, and you try to touch your toes, let's just say you're here and you're trying to reach for your toes, right? We've got the whole nervous system, it's wrapped all the way around there and it's on tension. Okay, so that's a high tension position. All right. If you try to sit, just flip this guy or girl, right? Kind of 90 degrees. If you try to sit and you try to bend forward and restore the ability to bend forward like that, again, that's going to be a lot of tension because same thing, nervous system. So no matter the position, if your legs are kind of straight like that, it's going to pull in the nervous system, and it's going to, it's going to put stress through the nerve versus allowing you to get some motion through the back in that bendy forward direction, which you've been avoiding for so long. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to slacken the system by, kind of bending the knees in some fashion. And I'll explain what I mean, or bending the knees if you're to do it like this. So you're going to do it with knees bent. And the two ways that I'm going to recommend that you do it, okay, let me erase this, is that number one, you just slouch. So instead of just holding yourself in an upright position, get rid of the back support and just relax. And when I say relax, like just chill against the back of your chair. So if you have a chair, just relax. You don't have to feel like you have to sit up so tall. So just chill for a second and just find comfort. Move into comfort. Move away from that locked in process that this is something is wrong in the sense, oh my gosh, if I do this, it's going to cause this. It's going to push the jelly out. You're okay. Take a deep breath and just ease into what feels best. Just breathe there for a moment. Okay, so that's the first thing, is just change your habits. Don't be so stuck sort of in this, robotic guarded fashion. The next thing, all right, is this idea of regaining the motion via adding a specific motion. So before you were doing all this, all your cobras, right? And it's bending the back, jamming the joints together. Now it's sore, it's achy, okay, it's not working so much anymore. Well, why not try this? Why not just go ahead and lay on your back, knees bent, so you take the nervous system off of tension, put it on slack, and just work on gently. You were laying on your back, right? 1, 2, gently pulling. up towards your chest. So you feel a little stretch in the lower back. It shouldn't be threatening. Obviously, it's threatening. I'm not asking you doing anything that's threatening. I'm just saying that start reversing it. Because if this is yucky going this way, this is often yummy. All right. So maybe you start 10 reps, right? You know, a few times a day, just ease into it. Or, you know, if there's a chair here, we'll just say this is the chair, right? And you're sitting on it. Then just go ahead and start folding forward. So sit there. Here's your legs. There's your head, right? Start folding forward like this. Gradually, if you need to put your hands on to support yourself, but just go down there. Maybe you do some brief holds. You see how that feels? Or you just do some repetitions. Just start to gradually reintroduce your spine to that which you were told you shouldn't be doing for so long now, right? And that theory kind of kept you from doing, that mental barrier, all right? So again, hopefully this video was helpful. It's just a simple tip. Again, kind of motivated by a call I just had with an individual who is now having a lot of trouble bending forward and has lost a lot of his mobility and confidence in doing so, because for so long he was trapped by this concept that, hey, you know, I've got this disc problem and I should be going backwards, going backwards, going backwards. You shouldn't be doing anything. You should be doing what's best for you, okay? So don't let the theories lock you in, okay? They're not set in stone. We're learning every single day that the things that we thought we knew, we don't know as much about, all right? So instead, don't box yourself in. Look outside the box and start to go the opposite of what now might be keeping you from healing, even though that's what you were told should help you heal. Go ahead, regain the function in McKenzie terms and start to gradually expose yourself to that bendy forward motion, either via knee to chest, right? There's no exact number of reps you should be doing, okay? 10 reps a few times a day to start. Make sure you're good with it. And or a seated, which is a little bit more aggressive because now you've got weight on the spine, but a seated forward bend, just your tolerance. Look, if you can't reach all the way to the floor, that's fine. Maybe put a yoga block or a step stool there and just start with that. Just start gently reintroducing that forward bend motion, you know, that motion you avoided for so long, gradually. All right. And the last thing is, in your life, just start to relax. When you stand, just let your back round a little bit. Let yourself relax against the chair. Don't be so upright and concerned that you're pushing the jelly somewhere where we're not even sure it's going to begin with. So hopefully that's helpful. Again, if you like this video, smash the thumbs up. If you want to, leave me a comment. Let me know sort of what you think. Be sure to subscribe for more like videos. And as always, if you need help, go ahead and in the description, visit www.calldrc.com and apply to chat with me. Thanks so much, everyone, and we will chat soon.